Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Divine Me Time. I thought I would share some yoga with you this morning. So come on down to your mat. And we'll just start seated and work with our breath. First, just settle into your body. So take a moment. Let's be patient today during this practice. Patient with the body, finding its center, finding its weight, finding its root and its rise. Noticing the breath, gentle rise and fall of the belly, or perhaps it's more in the chest today. And finding some softness in the tissues. And now we'll work with the breath. So let's bring the arms overhead and have an internal sense of the sound of hum as you breathe in. So hum, inhale, and then exhale, sa. So this is just an internalized sound. I'm speaking it out loud so you can hear and see the movement with breath. Hum, sa. And if you want to, I suppose you could audiate or speak the sound as well. It's up to you. Again, patience. And when you come overhead, you can interlace your thumbs when you press your palms together, and then just try to get a little more length through the side body. And then with the sa, just letting go and softening, especially that tissue around the neck and shoulders. We'll repeat this a few more times. And as always, it doesn't matter how many I'm doing, how quickly or slowly I'm going. Always follow your natural breath. And if you aren't making the sound externally, you may discover that the breath itself is making the sound home. So, two more. Last one. Very good. So now we'll work with a little bit of a twist here. So what I'd like you to do is lead with your ribs to one side of the body. Right or left doesn't really matter. Let's just do that little movement. So we're just shifting the upper body over the lower body. Notice that my shoulders are pretty much staying in a plane. Maybe there's a little lift in that side I'm going off to. Just repeat to one side. And now I want you to add a little bit of resistance here with the opposite knee and hand. So as you push off to one side, you are leveraging the other side toward the ground. So just repeat that a few times. There's almost a spring as you release. Gentle. And now start to bring the shoulders to face the knee you're turning towards, but continue to press away with the other side. You can use your free arm to ground yourself towards the back of the body. And then the other thing here that you can explore is finding some hollowness through the middle region. So in other words, when we inhale, we do so and let the air fill. But when you exhale, just take this tissue and contract it all in and back. And see if that helps you to maybe open up a little more somewhere, maybe creating some space in the area of the groin. Maybe even finding a little more height and a little more being right on the sit bones as opposed to maybe a little more forward of them. And then you can hold if you wish. So I'm actually, with my arms, what's happening is I am pressing into the ground with both hands. And so my tailbone is almost floating, not much. It's still in close contact or near the floor. But there is some space there. Good. Go ahead and release that, and we'll start working towards the other side. Before we do, just notice how you feel on that side that we worked. Okay, and now going to the other side, starting with the ribs. So just the movement, waist involvement. Can you feel space between each of your spinal bones? Or do you feel like you're crushing? Making sure that you're not rounding through the lower back will help you ensure and achieve that. And now leveraging with the hand against the opposite knee into the beginning of a twist here. In fact, I think we did it without the support of the hand on the other side. So just instead of the twist, just use that hand against the thigh and lean. Now, if you're curious, you could see what happens if you were to do this without your hands supporting there, and just notice what it would feel like and what would catch here. So by doing this, we are freeing up some of that and stretching some of that tissue that would ordinarily maybe having to catch you and support you. Now bringing yourself into more of a twist towards that side. Again, maybe using the hands to create a little bit of space between you and the floor, fractional space, you know. And then seeing if you can create space between the belly and the fronts of the thighs. A really nice sensation. At least I hope it is for you too. And then release back. Taking a moment to just integrate. Again, patience. And now we'll come into a child's pose. So let's see. Go ahead and do this with a prop if you have one. So I'm going to use a bolster. Use a couch cushion, bed pillows, blankets. And of course, I want you to be comfortable. So you can do any form of child pose that works for you. I'm going to be doing one with the knees together, which is not comfortable for everyone. So please do adjust if you need to. So I'm sitting in my Vajrasana here. I'm going to take the bolster right up to my abdomen. And so my knees are together underneath. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Again, I'm going to find some length. Let me just move that so you can see. So I'm pushing into the very tops of the thighs where they meet the trunk and pushing downward to get some length. And in fact, I could play a little here. I could maybe do a little rocking side to side, very gentle traction to open up the lower back. It does take some strength through the arms to do so. And then when you are ready, coming over the bolster, and the bolster provides some nice feedback into the belly, some compression. So compression isn't always bad, you know, the body, the bones, especially. So here we're compressing through the abdomen, and that can help aid with digestive issues. You know, when we compress tissues rather than, well, in this way, the blood is kind of being moved out and away from the area. But when we release, then that blood is rushing and flooding into that area. So let's take a moment here and just notice the impact on your breath. Just have your arms comfortable wherever they may be. And your head, if it's not comfortable facing your prop, then just turn it to one side or the other. And if you normally have your legs separated during a child's pose, just notice, if you can, sense the difference that having the knees together might make. And also how having this prop here supporting your upper body might be changing the sensation you would ordinarily feel here. Softening the lower back. Breathing into the whole back body. And now, since we've got this prop here, hopefully, of course you could be doing this without a prop, which is fine too. But what I'm going to show you is go ahead and push yourself back up, and we'll come into a supported pigeon variation with the bolster. So come onto all fours and have the bolster even with one knee. The other knee will be outside the bolster. You're going to bring it straight up and as far up the bolster as you would like to try to have it. The best location for the bolster to hit the back leg is past the groin and towards the thigh a little more. So give that a shot. And then allow yourself to drape over the bolster and come over the support so that this upper chest area can hang over. So instead of being at an angle with the shin towards the front of the mat, we are just on the shin. So here the sacrum can remain fairly flat to the floor and we don't have any issues there because of the bolster or support. And now here you are welcome to work through the toes of the long leg, pressing up and leading back with the heel. And if you wanted to, you could explore that same arm reaching in the opposite direction, or even both arms. And just release if you prefer. So this side of the body that's on the prop, it's being supported. Just let it release and melt. Trust that support. When you are ready, let's go ahead and press up with the hands under the shoulders, perhaps a little wider than the shoulders. You can once more, if you care to, work through that long leg in the back. And you might feel a really nice stretch through the front of the thigh here now, into the groin of the long leg. But notice that I'm not trying to do the back extension and come up really tall through the back. Rather, I'm thinking long through the back, an extension of the leg. While we're here, I am going to bend my heel towards my buttock without getting a cramp, hopefully, and work my body to see if I can come around to this leg and grab hold with my hand. Now, in order to do this, I'm being very ginger with my lower back. So I'm taking my time, I'm not going right there. And voila. So again, it's not that my upper body is arching and extending to meet the foot. Rather, I am long from the knee all the way through the spine and the crown of the head. This other hand is supporting me to the front, so I have some leverage to come around to grab hold of the foot. And you may or may not be able to grab the foot, and that's not really the important thing here. The important thing is first that it feels good for you, and second, if you can get into that thigh. Okay, coming back around, letting go. And let's push back up into all fours here. We'll go into a child's pose again, any variation, with or without the prop. And then let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So setting up by bringing your prop to your other knee. And taking your free knee up as far as you can to allow the upper body to drape from the chest forward onto the floor. Now, interestingly, on this side, I feel like I am rolling a little more off to the side. So I need to readjust my prop more towards my center line, and that helps create that flatness through the sacrum. And softening here. Really release into the support. You can bend your toes back, extend through the heel. Explore with the arms as well, if that's your choice. And then release and soften once more. So I will use this opportunity to say that when the prop is not quite in the right place, it can make all the world of difference. So if you ever find yourself in a position and something is just not allowing you to completely rest, see if you can in a quarter of an inch something in one direction or the other, perhaps a little more height or even a little less height, can make so much difference in your ability to just let go where you are. So I'm going to come up onto my hands and bring my heel towards my buttock. Pressing through the whole length of the leg. Again, bringing the heel in. And slowly starting to maneuver myself to see if I can open from the waist and through the shoulders to that back leg. Again, long from the knee all the way through the crown of the head. And you can point and flex the foot if you've got hold. Good, and let's release and come back onto all fours into another child's pose. From here, please come back into all fours, pull one knee through and cross it over the other, coming into a cow-faced pose or a shoelace, whatever you want to call it. Sitting up nice and tall here. And again, finding that the resistance of the arms, I'm using my hands and the soles of my feet to get some length through my spine. And you're welcome to bring the upper body forward. Just breathe often here. You know, there's something that I've been kind of playing with lately, and it's in meditation, but I think it applies to yoga too. And the idea that we have to do something, that we have to let go, that we have to change the body. And really, the body has that capacity even without our interference. Or maybe even more so without our interference. So get out of a sense of I'm doing something and come into a sense of the body is just, it's moving, it's exploring, and it's finding its own way into this experience. So now, coming back upright, we're going to swivel into a forward fold. So just your weight towards your top leg and turn into a forward fold at whatever distance you want to have your feet is fine. Knees bent if you need to, if you feel long and stretched out in the back enough, warmed up enough in the backs of the legs, then you don't need to bend your knees. Using blocks if you need the back support. And then shifting slightly side to side, bending one knee at a time. And back to straight. Planting the hands forward of the shoulders and then coming to the fingertips, long back. Finding that space in the lower belly, the Uddiyana Bandha. And release. And we're going to continue that spiral. So you're going to bend what was the top leg and come around to the other side. So again, letting the body move, letting it find its place here, letting it discover how it can get more lift, how it can get more freedom. Patience. And I will say, I didn't know coming into this class today that I would do that little swivel spiral into a forward fold and back into shoelace. Those things happen because of a lack of planning and a spontaneity that I discover new things. If I have over-planned a class, then there is no room to invent and create and discover. So that is something to consider for yourself as well. When you're following a class, your body may take you in a totally different, spontaneous direction than was intended by any instructor. And that's beautiful. Follow it, trust it. And toes back, we'll just stretch out the feet and just shift the weight slightly from hands to toes. And start to prepare for your downward dog. And when you're ready, go ahead and open the legs back into the space behind you, pushing the hands back towards the legs, the heels either up or wherever they may land, bending the knees if necessary, dropping the heels if available. Relaxing through the back of the neck and keeping it attached and lengthened out from the spine. No craning it down or up. From here, let's go ahead and turn the feet to come on towards, well, you're going to come onto the balls, then you're going to swivel the feet to turn towards the, in this case, left. And just notice how that lengthens the whole underarm area down into the waist. And then release, coming back up and going off to the other side. Try to keep equal weight on hands and feet here, even though we don't have the whole foot down. Back to neutral. Come back to the first side. Really crouched here, really bent in, shifting your weight more towards your feet and feeling that reach through the side body. Back to neutral and to the other side. Really bending in. Now you might feel more weight on one hand than the other. Back to neutral. And release. Good job. That was a lot of work for the arms. Back into a nice child's. Maybe wrapping the arms around the body this time. And then we'll just finish up with some lunge work and then come onto the back. So taking a few more moments here to soften. Mostly you'll see poses held stagnantly, but always know you're free to move in any pose. You're always free to explore, to roll, to use the floor, to use your body. I'm a rule breaker, baby. Okay. Coming back up to all fours, we're going to step in. Very open lunge. So instead of bringing the foot straight ahead, okay, you can start there. You're going to open the foot, walk it out towards maybe even beyond the corner of the mat. And just note what that feels like there. Just kind of hanging out. And then bring both arms or hands, let me get that right, to the mat if that's available to you. If not, do use blocks or stay with your elbow on your thigh. And if you forward, facing the other corner of, and here you can explore with some movement, either reaching back with the hips and then back into the lunge, or slightly rolling forward towards the hands and then back, or all of the above. Maybe some circles. Good, and then let's just come into a runner stretch, so pulling back through that front leg, coming to the heel, toes flexed back towards the shin, and release. Okay, just take a moment to feel nice and open through that lower back on that side. Okay, second side, stepping forward with the lunge and then walking it out and open to the corner. You can stay on the thigh if you want a moment with the elbow on the thigh. Just hang out. And if you can, either using your blocks or bringing your hands to the other corner of the mat and start to explore some shifting of weight, shifting of the hips, back and forth towards the hands, away from the hands, rolling, and or circles. And if you're finding any knee discomfort, I'm noticing every now and then, depending on how my weight is, that it's a little much on the knees. So you could always fold up something, including your mat, and put that under your knee for a little more support there if you need it. And sending the weight back to stretch the front leg, toes back toward shin. And back into a moment of all fours, just to feel. You're welcome to do some cat-cow here if you want to. I'm not actually going to take a lot of time to do that, but please do if that's something you would like. I'm just going to come onto my back now. Starting in constructive rest with the knees bent. Allowing myself to adjust to this, the first time I've been on my back since waking up. Noticing all the beneficial responses in the body to everything we've done, what feels wonderful, alive, different. And because I have this bolster, I'm going to go ahead and use it for savasana. So I'll bring it under my knees. You're welcome to stretch out flat or have your legs up the wall, whatever you need. And let's return to the idea of patience. There are so many people who don't have the patience for shavasana. Can you allow yourself to just be? And if you find you're resisting, get curious about why. What is it? What's the threat? Often it's because when we stop activity, all the things that we've been avoiding or pushing down and in come floating up or bouncing up to the surface. That can be challenging. But if you choose, first of all, choose to be still, intend to be still, and then use the tool of the breath to just be with sensations or thoughts or feelings that arise. You may find that there really isn't anything there that's real, no real threat, no real challenge, no real discomfort. There's the floor. There's your body. There's the breath. That's what's real. So let's return the mind now with the breath to the sound internally of Hum Sa. Breathing in with Hum, out with Sa. Now, if you'd like to take more time here, feel free to do so. Otherwise, decide if you want to just start with fingers and toes, moving, perhaps a deep breath. Maybe bringing knees to chest or taking a nice long body stretch. Rolling on to one side when you're ready. Again, be patient with yourself. So often I see students roll onto their sides, and as soon as they hear me give the next cue, they push up, come to a seated position. It's very abrupt. I want you to feel that you can always take your time. We don't have to all sit up at the same time. We don't all have to end our practice at the same time. So pushing up when you're ready. Nose to the floor. Into whatever seated position is comfortable for you. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Breathing in through the mouth, no, through the nose, out the mouth. And again, in nose, out mouth. And we'll sing Om Shanti to close. Breathing in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, Shanti. Thank you for joining me today. Please do check out my website at divinemetime.com. I drop a video once a week here, sometimes twice a week. Might be a meditation video, a kaleidoscopic mandala video, perhaps a yoga video. So lots of different things that I'm offering here. Please do like and subscribe to the channel, and do share this with someone you know who might appreciate or benefit from it. Thank you so much for helping me grow the channel. Take care, everyone. Be well. See you soon. End stream.